Welcome to Essential Ingredients, powered by Next Gen Purpose. EI serves up thoughtful conversations with industry leaders and pioneers who support a regenerative future for our food system. The stories shared by our guests are meant to spark curiosity and inspire informed global change. Good afternoon and welcome to Essential Ingredients. I'm Justine Reichman, your host. Today with us is Mike Fata, CEO, founder of Manitoba Harvest. Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad that we get to connect, and I'm excited to learn about you and a little bit about Manitoba Harvest and all the other projects and things that you are part of and what you're doing representing Midday Squares. We love Midday Squares.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity. I founded Manitoba Harvest in 1998, and I was fortunate to find my why in health a few years before that, after I lost over 100 pounds and decided to do something about my health. I weighed 300 pounds when I was 18 years old. And after losing the weight and discovering how healthy hemp seeds are, I got really enamored with the business opportunity and started the company. And over 20 years, grew the business to over 100 million in sales, and we were successful in exiting the company, and so I learned a lot about agriculture and food manufacturing and creating a brand and really distribution through international distribution. And so we sold the company in 2019, and over the last 3 years have been helping other founders grow their businesses with investment or sometimes advising them or mentoring the younger entrepreneurs. And so Midday Squares is one of my companies. I have 9 companies in my portfolio nowadays, and just love the product, love the founders, and happy to support them both as an investor, but also as their global growth advisor to the founders.
That's wonderful. So 20 years ago, you were young and starting this company, and it sounds like it was a bit of a personal journey.
Very personal. I still feel like I'm young at 45. At 45, I feel
I'm going to say you're young at 45 because I'm young at 49.
Yeah, there you go.
So
yeah, I'm definitely a lot healthier at 45 than I was at 18. But yeah, I grew up on fast food and not knowledgeable about health, and just so over the last 25 years learned a tremendous amount about diet and nutrition and exercise, and that's why I love the natural products industry, because there's all these great foods and great products that and founders and entrepreneurs that create those products. So it's really my lane that I like to stay and focus in, even though it's been a couple decades.
Where I was going with that, though, was at 18. It sounds like you were in high school.
Yeah, well, to add to the story, I grew up poor with a single mom, and decided to drop out of school when I was 13, and with my mom's support I started working. So really, by the time I was 14, 15, I was working full time, first in a number of different jobs, but in construction. So learned a lot about how the world works, but more practically in the workforce, and I think that helped position me. So when I was 20, 21, when we started the business, I already had a good understanding of work, but not formally educated. Everything's been self-taught.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's a great, it's inspirational. Mm-hmm. I can't say that at 18 or at 21, I had any idea what I was going to do.
Yeah, well, I can't say I had it figured out, but I just I found what I was passionate about, being health, and then I became passionate about business and growth, and really structuring and growing a company and team, and just enjoyed doing that for a very long time, and still enjoy doing it. Nowadays, I'm a recovering entrepreneur, so I like to do it with other founders through supporting them, and not necessarily being involved active in the day-to-day business.
Okay, so you sold your business. I'd love to learn more about that too, but now you've sold your business and you're supporting these other entrepreneurs. And so what was the transition like for you to do that?
Well, it's not easy. I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand that, at the end of a journey, when you sell a business, there's a financial reward, which can be life-changing. But you get a divorce from your business, or I like to think about my my business, given that Manitoba Harvest is 23 years old, it's like your child being 23 years old, but they don't come home and talk to you or write you anymore. And so, you know, there's a grieving process, there's an emotional process that goes along with that. I had a triple whammy that right at the same time as we were selling the business, my partner and I, 15 years, decided it was time to get a divorce and be co-parents to our kids. And my mom passed away unexpectedly. So three kind of things, triple grieving that really had me, you know, searching for and finding like what was my meaning in life and purpose in life. And so it wasn't easy, but just even a business transition alone, I've seen friends and other entrepreneurs go through it, and you know, it's there's that cliche thing to say like enjoy the journey, but you really should enjoy the journey, because the end of the journey isn't necessarily the great part, you know, because what you've learned to love and do, you don't necessarily get an opportunity to do that anymore, and you have to reinvent yourself. So I thankfully for me, I had been thinking about it for a long time of and wanting to kind of retire as an entrepreneur, to come out of retirement and see what was Mike 2.0, like what did I want to do. I built my career off of giving back, so mentorship and helping support people has been a big part of it, and I also just discovered a love and a lot of knowledge and expertise around governance. And so I like being on boards. I like advising and mentoring and coaching executives, and so that's what I've been doing since you know, the last 3 years, since I haven't had a day job.
But I'm sure it keeps you very busy.
You could be as busy as I choose.
You want.
Having, you know, having sold now three transactions that are all 9-figure deals, I'm afforded a lot of opportunity, and so I'm grateful for that. And you can only do so many things in life, but it's no shortage of opportunity, especially if you create success.
So if we go back to your first iteration, your first company, and you look at that experience, and you built that company at a young age. You're still young. You were there. It was kind of that was a big deal back then. I mean, not that it wouldn't be a big deal now, but you were an early adopter, I would say, in that space. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we actually got. We got hemp legal in Canada, and we were one of the first companies to bring hemp foods to the market. So it was very weird. I say the only thing more strange than selling hemp foods in 1998 is being a guy with a ponytail doing it. You know, it took every had a lot of haters that just didn't believe that you know, hemp should be a food, or that we weren't going to be successful, or that because I was a high school dropout, I wasn't going to make it as an entrepreneur. And it took a lot of that in the early days. People laughing and just walking by and saying, no, that's marijuana, that's a drug, and you know, being confused about that. But yeah, for the first 5 years of the business, a lot of it was standing up for the future, knowing I had a clear vision that hemp, because of the nutritional properties of hemp seeds and hemp hearts, that as people learned about it, they were going to support it and start to want to include them as part of their daily diet and as part of a healthy lifestyle. And so it was holding up that vision until the world caught up was the challenging part.
How did you become such an early adopter to hemp?
There was two other co-founders to Manitoba Harvest, but my part of my journey is when I lost the weight, so I hit 300 pounds. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, decided to do something about it. I went on a no-fat diet, which was popular in the mid-1990s, but learned the hard way that your body needs fat, essential fatty acids. So after I cut the fat out of my diet and I was working out and exercising, I started suffering ill health from what I've learned was essential fatty acid deficiencies. And I read the book Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill by Dr. Udo Erasmus, and he promoted like how important essential fatty acids were, omega-3 and omega-6, and that hemp was the best source of essential fats, but it wasn't available in Canada. It was only or the US was only available in Europe. And that's when I met Martin and Alex, the other two co-founders, and they were working to lobby the government to legalize hemp. And so I saw the opportunity that things were going to change from the no-fat diet to the right fat diet, which I think 20 years later now you can see fat's not a bad word anymore, and it is the right fat type of diet now. And so I just saw that kind of earlier, and I was I always thought hemp was cool, and that it was, misrepresented, even though it's a relative to marijuana in the cannabis family, it's not a drug, and it's a healthy food. It's also a fiber that's used for clothing and stuff, and so I was passionate about, kind of championing that cause.
So we have a lot of founders that listen to this or watch the podcast, watch the video casts, and people are really innovating in new spaces now. And so I feel like you carved out a space for you in Canada where it wasn't before. What would you say to those founders that are trying to carve out their own niches today?
I think that, whatever product or service, whatever company you're focusing on, it really should tie to your passion. It's because it's the passion that keeps you going and making a vision a reality. And, I think because it becomes really hard if you're doing what would be called like a Me Too product or copying someone else, just for the reason of business. I think that's when more of the businesses fail. But you see that people that, had their own health experience and then created a health product, or there was a reason for them getting into the business, is a good foundation, and I believe is the right foundation for entrepreneurship.
No, I completely agree with that. And I think that that's really sage and good advice for founders. So I'm curious also, we have all these founders, because I get a lot of questions from all these different founders that are always coming to me and asking me things. And one of the things that they always ask is, they're going to start these businesses, and, there's a lot of different, I want to say, resources out there, and they never know how to vet them. We try to vet them, and we try to share our resources among the community, because that's the best thing I know how to do, is not necessarily recommend mine, but get everybody to share them. As when you were starting out your journey, how did you know how to best get your resources?
Yeah, I think, part of it was having been in the workforce and starting a community, a network. And so I think it's good advisors and good mentors. I've been grateful to have some great mentors along my journey that really helped show what good looks like, or what world class was, and maybe make some help with some relationships or some introductions. That's why Greg Fleischman and I, Greg's also another natural products industry veteran, after talking to one-on-one to many people that we were mentoring and saying, hey, I have a form or a tool or a template that you can use, and sending it to him by email, I said, why don't we create this more as a mass mentorship model? And that's what fatafleischman.org is, where it's a self-service. We have basically downloaded our hard drive of all of our forms, tool templates, investor lists, forecast templates, investment presentation decks, and how to structure a board and how to incorporate a business, and all these resources that are for free, that people can just go access, because we feel that we are a trusted voice in the industry, in the natural products industry, for sure, and don't think that people should have to pay, entrepreneurs should have to pay for things that just are foundational tools. So that's one way that I've chosen to give back, but I think whether it's utilizing tools or templates like that, or getting a mentor that you can trust that can help show you the way, I think it's critical for entrepreneurs, especially when they're just starting out.
No, I think that's great, and that's one of the reasons we're building our community. So I couldn't agree with you more, I think. And it can be so isolating. A lot of these entrepreneurs can do it. It can be insular. It can be lonely. So when you're doing it can be isolating when you're doing it by yourself, unless you have a co-founder. You have two, but I do it by myself.
Yeah.
Me, my mighty team of three.
Yeah, no, you need community. I say all the time, like, it takes a village to raise a family. It takes a nation to raise an entrepreneur. You need a good community of resources and others you can talk to, and people that are going through similar challenges. And thankfully, social media makes connectivity. I'm a big LinkedIn fan, and there's other kind of ways to connect, but not everyone has that start when they're just getting going, and it's foundational for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. So now, as you embark, or you have been embarking in the last 3 years on your next journey, now that you've sold your businesses and you're investing? What are you looking for in as you put together your portfolio for your investments and the companies that you mentor?
Yeah, my investment thesis is quite simple. It's products that I enjoy in my house and that I like, and that I meet the founders and they're good people, and I think that they have growth potential, and because I think from there, raising capital and growing the business, if you have a foundation of good product and good people, it's just more of the world needs to hear about it, and so that's how I go at things. There's a lot of people pitching me saying, "Hey, I have this idea for you to invest in," and there's just too much opportunity. So I go back to like products that I enjoy and people that I want to hang out with and talk with and respect and stuff, and that hasn't served me wrong. I've made 9 investments. So I have 9 companies in my portfolio in the last 3 years, and they're all doing outstandingly well. And just because it's a great product and great founders and great entrepreneurs behind it. So my money and some of my mentorship or advisement or expertise is just really more fuel on their flame.
So yeah, I think that's the way I look at it too. We're putting together a next gen food fund, and we're making investments and putting some opportunities together. And we've been meeting with some of these companies. And for me, it's all about the founders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm investing in the founders.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. It's that you do better on the horse or on the jockey. You kind of got to do both. Like the horse maybe is the product, and the jockey is the operator. To be an entrepreneur and grow a business to a meaningful level so that you can have a return for shareholders is a lot of personal growth. There's no other way about it. It's going to take growing and learning and failing and getting up and going at it again over and over for years. So it's about the people, and you can usually tell if entrepreneurs kind of have it in them to grow personally, or if they're going to have a issue with that, taking advice or organizing themselves in that way. And yeah, I'm a big jockey person too. I like the founder's got to be a great fit.
I agree. So I'm curious, what do you see what's new and next in the food space? I know you probably see a lot of businesses come your way.
Yeah. I think hey, there's been trends that have been started, and they continue on. I mean, the plant-based movement is huge and just continues to grow. We successfully I was involved with Soul Cuisine as their chairman of the board and investor. We just sold that business for $125 million. We closed in February. The plant-based movement, both on the meat and dairy alternative, used to be just a small part of the category, and now because of flexitarians, it's becoming a larger and larger share of the category in the grocery store. I think, down that line, like, foods that are made with more simple whole food ingredients, I think there's a trend to go there. I think there's also like need states, intensified with COVID, but like immune boosting, immune supporting and stimulating supplements and beauty products and things that are satisfying consumers' need states are all categories and areas of product that will continue to develop and it's exciting to watch, actually, being in the industry now for 25 years. Like 25 years ago, the innovation was a lot less, and the opportunity, you couldn't go, now you can go to any one of your stores you shop at and get great natural and organic food and other products, and it's just going to become a larger and larger part of the food industry.
I also think it was different 25 years ago, right? I remember 25 years ago, I'm born and raised in New York. And my mother was ahead of the curve. She was very into the natural food space. We'd go to every natural food store. Everything was organic and this and that. She was ahead of the curve, right? But it was taboo in some conversations and in some worlds. Whereas now people are looking for more innovative things, and it's much more accepted and expected, and people are looking for it. So it's the conversation, the narrative, I think, has shifted.
Yeah, it's much more mainstream. I agree with you. I think it used to be like, hey, natural foodies and organic foodies were hippies, and not everyone wanted to be resonated.
Crunchy.
Yeah, granola or whatever. And so nowadays you're like, no, those are just health-minded people who wouldn't want to be health-minded people. And that's why the adoption of organic fruits and vegetables in every major grocery store and all the products are available, because there's not that stigma that it's a bad thing. It's actually, why wouldn't you want to be healthy? If you're the junk food eater, those are the people that probably need to check themselves and maybe adjust their diet, especially again through, you get times of of when people are more concerned about getting sick or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciated learning about what you're doing and for you sharing your insights and your story on essential ingredients.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me.
I really appreciate it.
To learn more about these episodes and access show notes, go to nextgenpurpose.com and choose podcast. If you like this episode, head to Apple Podcasts or your favorite platform to subscribe and leave us a review. Visit the Next Gen Purpose YouTube channel to subscribe to our EI videocast and give this episode a like while you're there. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Next Gen Purpose and connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Justine_Reichman. Thanks for joining us.